Hey, how we doing there, guys and gals? Welcome back. So of course this is the Kawasaki Ninja 125. This is my wife's motorcycle, and I'm sure a lot of you, before you started looking to buy a motorcycle, you probably were thinking of all the pros and cons to riding. Well, one of the pros probably would have been that you can filter, at least if you are lucky enough to live in a country where you are allowed to filter. But most of you probably would have started on a little bike like this. Now, it can seem quite intimidating filtering for the very first time on a little bike. So in today's video, that's exactly what we're going to go over. If you're looking to ride, or you're looking to start riding, you want to know the ins and outs of filtering, well, hopefully today's video will give you a bit of a helping hand. But yeah, let's jump on the Ninja 125, let's go for a ride, and let's go over filtering. Yeah, it is a nice looking bike, the little Ninja 125. I mean, it's just such a shame about the bloody L plates that we've got to wear. Yeah, CBT riders, I do feel sorry for you, because this is such a nice looking bike, and it would look like a proper little sport bike if it didn't have those damn L plates. But there you go, what are you going to do, eh? So yeah, guys and gals, filtering. My wife finds filtering very, very intimidating, and I mean, most of the time whenever my wife rides, I'm riding with her, so I'm able to guide her along. But a lot of you aren't going to have that luxury. You're going to have to learn about it on your own. And I think I didn't filter for a long time on a motorcycle because I was too afraid to do it, especially on a little bike like this Ninja 125, where you've pretty much got to rev the hell out of it to get yourself going anywhere fast. So yeah, it's certainly one of those things that you do want to learn, because it is a benefit to riding a motorcycle, and it is definitely a skill. It's one of those things that you have to learn how to do. But once you've learned how to do it, and even on a little bike as well, you'll be able to filter like everybody else. Now, you will get some bozos that will try to race you because, you know, you're on a nice looking little sport bike, but those occasions are few and far between and very dangerous. I mean, if that does happen, then they're probably going to beat you. So yeah, don't worry about that too much. Just ignore those people. Just get in front of the queue and, you know, try and get off as quickly as you can. That's basically what you need to try and do, and I'll try and show you how to do that in today's video. But yeah, heading over towards Cheltenham, as Cheltenham tends to be one of the more bustling towns around here, even later on in the day. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to encounter little bits of traffic. See, there's me always complaining about traffic, and then the time when I want traffic, I'm probably not going to find any, am I? But we'll see. Hopefully we'll get some traffic. So I know that a lot of you probably felt or feel the same way as I did about little bikes, where, you know, I simply don't have enough power to get off the line, so I'm going to be holding up all the traffic. To some extent that is true, but at the same time, one of the biggest benefits to riding a little bike and filtering on a little bike is you can filter through some pretty tight spaces. So yeah, that's one of the biggest benefits, having a smaller bike over a big one, especially if you live in a city environment. Yeah, I know, I'm not wearing my jacket, alright, okay. It's a warm day today, alright guys, give me a break. I know I should be wearing my jacket, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys go out wearing a t-shirt sometimes, or a hoodie, something that, you know, you probably shouldn't be wearing? Yeah, I know it's to my detriment, okay, I get it, but sometimes it's just nice to feel the breeze underneath your armpits for a change, you know, rather than just sweating buckets inside a leather suit. So one of the first things that I did here was I moved straight into the outside lane. Now, more often than not, you are going to be quicker than the usual traffic you'll find on the street, so never ever be afraid to pop yourself in the outside lane just to get through, or just to get past traffic nice and easy. So, I don't know if you've seen our videos in the past of the Ninja 125, but it can get up to speed pretty quickly. For a little bike, you're doing pretty well. So if you have a Ninja 125, I'm assuming it's the same as, you know, a Gixxer 125, or maybe even a Yamaha R125. All right, let's go in for a filter now. How about this? So there you go. So you're just looking to do these kinds of movements. I mean, that kind of filtering is fairly easy. One thing that I do like to try and do whenever I can is get in front of the car in front. So they can't do anything stupid like, you know, try and get on your inside as you're pulling away. I have had that happen to me before, so that's why I do it. I mean, it's not always recommended in certain situations, you know, depending on how tight the lanes are and stuff, but usually if you can get in front of the car, the lane that you're trying to be in, get in front of the car that's in front of it, or at the very front of the queue, just to make sure that they don't do anything stupid. And I mean, that's the thing, on a little bike, a lot of the time, you're having to try and force yourself to be in a dominant position on the road, despite, you know, you may be being a little bit slower than other drivers would like you to be, but it's for your own safety, to be perfectly honest with you. Oi, here we go, amber light. It's fine, it's fine. It was amber, guys, it was amber. Come on. A lot of you have ran through ambers before. Don't lie to yourselves. Just because you are on a little bike doesn't mean that you should treat it like a little bike in certain senses. I mean, I'm going to try filtering this way if I can, but this right-hand lane here is only going straight on, so I don't know if I'll be able to. But look, I managed to filter just a couple of cars in, see, and I found myself a little gap. So a lot of the time, if you find yourself in a situation where, you know, the traffic starts moving as the traffic lights go, well, try and slot yourself in. Usually there's a driver behind you that will let you in, usually. But again, a lot of the time you've got to be decisive. You can't be, you know, I don't know, you can't be toing and froing about where you want to put yourself in the queue. Just, you know, as soon as you find yourself a space, because as soon as traffic starts moving, that's when everything becomes a little bit more dangerous for you, you know, or a lot more dangerous rather. But filtering on bends, guys, filtering on bends. Okay, now you'll find a lot of people will tell you it's unsafe to do, okay, because you can't see what's coming around the corner, and if a car or a lorry or a bus or something comes barreling down the bend, then, you know, you're in trouble. But at the same time, as long as there's enough room in between the cars, you should be able to find a place to slot yourself in. Now, I've actually slotted myself in before on the ZZR in teeny tiny little gaps in between cars, and I was still basically in the middle of the road. I was still kind of like here, like this, you know. I was right in the middle of the road, and there's enough room for cars to get past you, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Just be careful, take it nice and slow. Don't go around the bend yourself stupidly fast, and you should be alright. But yeah, just keep an eye on that bend. Make sure that anything that comes around there, you're able to dart in straight away. A lot of this is perception and anticipation. So see the gaps as you're coming up to them into the future, and see them as far into the future as you possibly can. Now, of course, if you're, say, going around a right-hand bend around the UK, then you'll be able to see all the gaps from pretty far away. So pick yourself out some of those gaps that you want to fit yourself into, and then commit to one of them if you see traffic coming towards you. But it is doable, guys and girls. I wouldn't recommend you doing it, especially if you are a novice, but once you start getting a bit more confident with the bike that you're riding, and yeah, a bit more confident in filtering, then yeah, by all means, give filtering on bends a go. It just depends on the size of the road, all right? If the size of the road is pretty narrow, then yeah, that's probably not a good idea. Yeah, wow, it's pretty dead. But I'm going to take the opportunity, look, to move into the free lane, because it just saves you from getting too close to the cars. That's the biggest problem with filtering. You're getting pretty close to cars, and I mean, that's one of my golden rules, guys and gals. If you want to stay safe on a motorcycle, you want to stay as far away from any other vehicle as you possibly can, in all directions, in front of you, behind you, to the sides of you. As soon as you get the opportunity to get away from from any other vehicle around you, then you should take that action straight away. I don't know why that guy was putting his hand up. Like, what, should we be giving way to you then on a roundabout? I'm pretty sure the highway code doesn't say that, mate. Get off it. I don't know, it's probably from just talking to his mate, but funny coincidence, isn't it? Oh, it was so inconvenient, they had to wait for another couple of seconds before they could cross the other side of the road. Oh, wow. Why the chickens cross the road, guys and girls? Try and come up with the best answer for that for me, eh? That age-old joke. Alright, so filtering here, see now the lights are changing, so strictly I shouldn't move, but look. I'm going to filter it my way anyway, and I'm just going to slot myself in right here. You see? It's all about anticipation. If you think you've got the room, then you should be okay. But judging that room is probably the thing that's going to take a little bit of time for you. Judging when you should filter, when you shouldn't filter. And to be honest with you, there wasn't that many cars in front of me, so I wouldn't have had to have filtered in that instance. And I probably wouldn't have under normal circumstances. But if the traffic was backed up all the way, then yeah, I would have had a cheeky go at it for sure. So guys and gals, should you filter when there's traffic on the other side of the road? Alright, this might sound really, really crazy, but hear me out. So no, if the traffic is moving towards you, no. If it is like the last car in a line of cars that is passing you, then yes, you can go at that point. The only time when you should filter when there's cars on the opposite side of the road is when they're stationary. When they're not moving, then you can filter absolutely fine. But a skill of a motorcyclist isn't just about riding a motorcycle. You want to kind of anticipate when you can go all the time. Yeah, so you want to anticipate when you can go more than anyone else around you. So when you get the opportunity and you're doing normal roads, you know, the roads you would usually ride on, try and figure out the combination of the lights. Usually there's a specific way lights will change. So try and figure that out, and from there, I've done this a lot with a lot of the routes that I take. I actually anticipate when the lights are going to change, so I'm already on the gas and ready to go before the car behind me has even had a chance to put the car in gear. So that's the attitude you want to try and have. Again, the thing about riding a motorcycle is a lot of the time you have to do things that a lot of people wouldn't find intuitive. You have to be more assertive than almost anyone else, because it's you, okay? It's your life, and if someone else makes a mistake, well, you want to take yourself out of that situation as far as you possibly can to limit the kind of potential of that happening. Yeah, so you want to be decisive, you want to make sure that you aren't hesitant and you're taking the front foot, you know, you're always on the front foot. Oh, I knew this was going to happen. The day when I want traffic, there is none. Oh, it's typical, isn't it, guys and gals? Absolutely typical, because I want to be able to demonstrate the things that I'm trying to explain to you. Well, hopefully at least you'll be able to take something away from this video. Anyway, guys and gals, let me know in the comments if you have. Because there are little intricacies to filtering, such as, you know, if you're filtering down a lane where there's loads of traffic in your lane, but there isn't a lot of traffic in the other lane, and you try to filter down that way, well, of course, you're going to want to make sure there's no cars barreling up behind you. I mean, that's why swapping lanes, getting used to swapping lanes regularly is fairly good practice on a motorcycle, because it gives you the opportunity to be assertive, to put yourself on the front foot at all times. But again, like, if you try filtering when someone is approaching the lane that you're in, then yeah, you should not be filtering in that instance. You need to wait, look over your shoulder and wait until the traffic has passed before you enter that lane. Yeah, so don't just go ahead and start filtering it, you know, in a dual carriageway or something like that if one of the lanes is empty. Yeah, make sure to check behind you that there's nothing coming up behind you. Now this is a tricky one, because this is slow moving traffic. Now at this point, it's not filtering, it's overtaking. Yeah, so maybe if I was on a bigger bike, I'd be a bit more confident to overtake everybody. I mean, I've actually said this before when I'm on country roads sometimes, and there are people that are going very, very slowly around these country roads, and you know, okay, fair enough, they want to take the sights in, they want to enjoy the ride, it's nice and relaxing. But for someone like me on a bike where, you know, I just want to get past them and get to where I'm going as quickly as I can, you know, a lot of the time I am tempted to overtake on those kinds of roads, but more often than not you probably shouldn't on a little bike, because you're not going to have the power to commit to the entire overtake. Filtering on roundabouts, guys and gals. What do you think about filtering on roundabouts? I do it, I filter on roundabouts. Now I have a little bit of anxiety when I'm trying to filter kind of on the junction to a roundabout, so trying to get on the roundabout to begin with. I do have some hesitancy sometimes on roundabouts. A lot of the time it's because Roundabouts traditionally don't have traffic lights. I mean, a lot of them do nowadays, but the ones that don't are the hardest ones to anticipate because the traffic is going to be consistently moving all the time. So it's a lot of unpredictability. But again, it is possible. You just got to watch out for the cars right at the very front. If you can see them, and try and anticipate when they're going, so you can slot yourself in if the traffic starts moving a bit more freely. Alright guys and gals, I'm going to leave the video here. I'm actually on my way back home now. And again, I haven't had that many opportunities to filter, but if I do have opportunities after this point, then I'll be sure to splice them in. I mean, here, look, I'm going to filter right now. I'm actually putting myself into the lane to turn right. I mean, you know, why not? And then away I go. Those are the kinds of opportunities I like to take whenever I can. I mean, you guys see me do it in the videos before, so yeah, it's fairly common practice for me. Certain people will say different things about filtering, so a lot of it is going to come down to your own personal experience in the area that you live in. Yeah, if you are able to filter a little bit more freely in the place that you live, then go for it. If you live somewhere where it's a bit more restrictive, or there's loads of traffic all the time that's always kind of like on this, you know, start-stop kind of motion, well, you know, maybe you have to be a little bit more considerate and a little bit more careful. But yeah, just be sensible, guys and gals, okay? Only filter when it's safe for you to do so. Yeah, when it's safe for you to do so will depend on the situation. So if you do see cars coming from the opposite direction, don't filter. If you're on a dual carriageway and you see cars coming up behind you on the opposite lane, don't filter. You know, a lot of occasions like that where you shouldn't. So keep that in mind and take the opportunities when they come and try not to be hesitant. Like I said earlier, try and be on the front foot whenever you can. Anyway, guys and girls, yeah, I'm going to leave the video here. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you've learned something today. I mean, I don't think I've got anything else to, any more kind of tips and tricks about filtering that I can give you. If I think of anything else in the near future, then I'll probably make another video, but hopefully on an occasion where there is lots of filtering to be done. So hopefully you guys are able to see the things that I'm saying in practice. But yeah, if you're new to the channel, guys and gals, welcome. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts on filtering, let us know your experiences on filtering. If you've got any more tips or tricks for newer riders, then yeah, make sure to drop those in the comments. I'm sure they would really appreciate the advice from all of the experience, the wealth of experience that our little community has to offer. But yeah, thanks again for watching, guys and girls. We'll catch you all in the next one.